Okay, I am actually back now. Okay, so I actually did one try of the second half of this video with synthesis overview already, and I garbled up enough words and fucked it up enough that I'm just gonna retry. I'm gonna do another take of this video, and this time it won't hopefully go over because I have a capture time limit on what I'm using, on the video thing I'm using at 15 minutes, so that I won't go over the YouTube allotted time amount, which is kind of fucking gay, to be completely honest. Not gay in a screw the homosexual type of way, but gay in a it's fucking stupid type of way. But okay, yes. What was I saying? Oh yes, how do I say this? Commonly, I'm going to do a synthesis overview now, I should say, to preface what I'm about to do, of pseudoephedrine, hydrochloride, or sulfate, to methcathinone hydrochloride, or sulfate, once again. But I'm not going to explain to you how to extract pseudoephedrine from the modern version of the Sudafed pill, or really any nasal decongestant containing a pseudoephedrine salt, because that's not my job. If you want to find out, once again, I look up Secrets of Methamphetamine Manufacture 8th edition. There's a perfectly good process for it involving commonly available items at a grocery store that gets about 50 to 60% yields, if you do it right, of pseudoephedrine. While it's not ideal, unless you have pure KOH salt sitting around, or you have some sort of chemical company account, it will work, personally. But once again, I'm not saying you should do this, ever, by any means. No. This is, once again, only for informational purposes, to give you a basic understanding of chemistry that goes into this. This is not to tell you you should do it. If you do, though, I'd like you to know how to do it without creating poisonous gases or products and then trying to snort, eat, or smoke them, or shoot them into your vein, then I don't agree with IV ever, by the way. Mostly because if you get a shitty product, you could kill yourself very easily doing this just by clogging a vein, and no, that's not cool. That's defying a basic underlying trust between user and dealer, and I don't like that personally. But I'm doing this so that if you do decide to do this, which I'm not saying once again you should, but if you do, I'd like you to do it in a way where you don't end up shooting potassium chloride into your veins. You end up shooting methcathinone into your veins, if that's what you intend to do, or snorting methcathinone instead of potassium chloride, once again, because both are salts when you use them, but one's a poisonous salt that, if I remember correctly, is used in lethal injection. So, dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So, yes, without further ado, I will get to the actual chemistry now, because there's maybe 11 minutes left, 12 minutes left, a little under that. So, here goes nothing. What you're going to want is a 1 molar solution. What you want, I should say, if you were to do this, which, once again, you're not, right, is a 1 molar solution of potassium permanganate in 100 milliliters of distilled water. I can't stress that enough. In any chemical reaction requiring water, you want distilled water. There is no reaction where you should not have distilled water. I don't care how simple it is, even if you're not going to be ingesting the final product, if it's just to see what it does, always use distilled or some form of pure, unadulterated, pure H2O. No water from a tap. No, I don't care if the water goes through 18 fucking filters. It's still not as good as pure distilled water. Something will always slip through. That's just a fact of the matter. But you want a 1 molar solution again, which is 100 milliliters of water that is 25 degrees Celsius distilled, which means it's room temperature, not room temperature, I don't know what 25 degrees Celsius is to Fahrenheit, I don't know off the top of my head. I could probably figure it out if I want to remember the shit they taught me in French class in 7th grade, but I don't, so there we are. So 100 milliliter solution of 25 degrees Celsius distilled water. Once again, distilled. Can't stress that enough. You want 7.43 grams of potassium permanganate. I mean, you could probably get away with like 7.5 if you don't have a scale that can measure that deep, which I don't think many people have, unless they have a postal scale, which most people don't. But you could probably go down to Staples and get one. So, and it probably won't dissolve that extra 0.7 grams. So you could probably just get that. You could probably just kind of sift that off. But if you can, try to make it only 7.43 grams. Try to make it as close to that as possible because it's the purest way of doing it. What you're going to do is you're going to take this solution and you're going to be reacting it with about 3 grams of pseudoephedrine. I mean pure pseudoephedrine salts, hydrochloride, sulfate, so on and so forth. You want that much, okay? You need to have it at room temperature, by the way, and you need time, lots of time. I mean, at least give it 24 hours. If you have 24 hours where nobody can fuck with it other than you, that is what you want. That is the best way to do it, honestly, because you're going to need time to, if you're going to do any reaction, considering this is a legal reaction, an illegal thing to do. This is manufacturing a controlled substance, a Schedule 1 controlled substance, which is very illegal. If you were to do this, which you, once again, fuck you, DEA, by the way. I don't like you, DEA, you narco swine cunts. You ruin more lives than you save. Don't lie. Don't delude yourself, you self-righteous cocksuckers. Okay, there's my rant for the minute. I'm sorry that one went off. But again, you shouldn't do it because it's highly illegal. Very, 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 very illegal. And you shouldn't do it. But if you're going to, in theory, hypothetically, if you're going to, you want to have time to do this because it's a lengthy reaction at room temperature. It's 8 to 12 hours just to dissolve all the potassium permanganate. It can be up to 12 hours. But pseudoephedrine hydrochloride possesses an acidic character, which means that the 1 molar solution of potassium permanganate will oxidize 3 of the hydrogens. Therefore, for every mole of potassium permanganate you're going to need 3 moles of pseudoephedrine, okay? Because that is going to be a full-on thing. So you're only going to be using so much of the solution to get it, okay? You really wouldn't want too much of it, but a little more extra is probably a good thing, because even if you were to take it, your finished product, which again, highly illegal, so I'm not recommend ever doing this. This is purely science at work here. Small amounts of pseudoephedrine after it's been oxidized and being broken down back into pseudoephedrine. You're not going to notice it, even if you take it, but I'd recommend, personally, an AB extraction with a recrystallization afterwards. It can be done very easily. I'm pretty sure you could find, if you Google Irowid dry HCl gas generation, you can easily do this. There's one involving a beer bottle and some tubing and whatnot, and some Drano and some uriatic acid that gives you good yields of gas. But the ratio is going to be 2.5 to 1 mole for the pseudoephedrine to potassium permanganate ratio, okay? And give me one moment. I'm just going to check how much time I have left, I promise you. Yeah, I have enough time left. Fuck it. Shit. So what you're going to do here is 3 grams of pseudo is approximately 18.15 moles, which millimoles, I'm sorry, I'm fucking words up left and right here. And to that, you're going to add 7.26 millimoles of KMNO4, or 1.14 grams, which means 15.5 milliliters of your potassium permanganate solution, or as I'm going to call it now, P permanganate. And I'm going to call it the pseudoephedrine. I'm just going to call that ephedrine for the sake of clarity and quickness, because this video is not going to be that long. It's going to be 15 minutes or less, because that is what I have to do it with. Sorry for coughing all over the place. I have a cold and allergies and all that, so we won't get into that. But you need that at room temperature once again, so make sure you can never be that precise. So unless you have a cylinder of some sort that has a graduated cylinder with some sort of measuring for milliliters like that, you need around 15.5. Try to get that, and you should be great off if you're going to do this. You're going to take then 250 milliliters of, once again, can't stress this enough, 250 milliliters of H2O, water, distilled, once again, can't stress that enough, You want to still that in a refrigerator for a few hours. And I'm not going to go into the extraction of the pseudoephedrine because what I'm using is actually a very outdated thing. The basic chemistry behind it is not outdated by any means. The problem is that the actual extraction process for the pseudo tablets is outdated. And I don't want to give you that because then I might be privy to some sort of horrible investigation if you get fucked. And I don't like that. I don't like getting fucked. Ever. Unless it's, you know, pussy, in which case it's fine. It's all cool. Shit. Oh, that's what you gotta. For the next few hours, nothing's gonna happen once you prepared your solution. Fuck me with a duck in a rubber boat. I just went to the top of my page. I apologize. Okay. I'll go right back up. Okay. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna place the pseudo solution that you're gonna get, which is approximately. I'm sorry, I have to find something real quick. Okay, yes. Yeah. Filler, blah blah blah. Place this. You're gonna have a pseudoephedrine solution after you've done the extraction, which you can probably find on the internet anywhere, really. You're gonna want to place that next to the KMNO4 solution, and you're gonna label these. So. Make sure you label these just so you don't end up putting one in the wrong. Just don't do it in the wrong order. Try to label it so you know what's what, just so you don't kill yourself if you end up accidentally grabbing it. You'll read it first and you'll be like, I'm not supposed to drink that. That is not water. That is a solution of something very corrosive to my innards, basically. The next few hours, once you've got those, nothing's gonna happen. After a few hours though, like 2 hours, once they're chilled, 2-3 hours, you're gonna take those solutions and you're going to mix them together. Stir them very nice and place them in the fridge for 8 to 12 hours. Check, like, after the 8-hour mark, check every half hour until the purple color is gone. But once you hit 12 hours, if that purple color is not gone, and you have a clear layer and some brownish shit on the bottom, don't worry, that's what you want. You're going to, hopefully that doesn't agitate easily, but you're going to want 100 milliliters of 70% isopropyl alcohol solution. When I say solution, I mean the solution is the 70% isopropyl alcohol. It can be bought at a store. So don't say, oh, I can't get my hands on it. It's called rubbing alcohol. It's 70%. You're going to take 100 milliliters of that, measure it out, pour it in. If you have one of those measuring cups for liquids, like in the kitchen, like for cooking and baking, all that shit, get that, use that if you can. Hopefully it'll work. But chances are, after that, if the purple color is still there, you probably use an excess. Don't worry. Salvage that. Just salvage what you can. Okay, not enough time, or too much was used, but don't allow any more than 12 hours in the solution, otherwise you're just going to give the shit the same thing. That's why you're using the isopropyl alcohol. That's the sole purpose of the isopropyl alcohol. Do you understand me? Sole purpose. Sole purpose. Hopefully, I'm going to get this done in time, because I only have a minute or two left. But what you're going to get is, you're going to end up with something, okay? Don't use anything other than isopropyl alcohol, by the way, because everything else will fuck it up. It will oxidize it further. You don't want that. That's going to turn right back into pseudoephedrine, and that's not what you want. But you're going to let the mixture that you get from that sit for about 2 hours. You should get that at that point, because it's going to be about room temperature. But it all depends on the thickness and dimensions and whatnot of your container. Of course, it's all based on how quickly that warmer air will get through. But then you're going to filter it through 2 coffee filters, and you're going to get all the little manganese particles in those coffee filters. Try to let it go through as long as it takes until all the liquid is through. Don't do it too fast, or else, of course, it'll overflow whatever funnel you're using, or whatever you're using to filter. And in an ideal world, you can do this on the first try, but I'd recommend doing it 4 or 5 times even, just to get all the manganese, because trust me, that shit is poisonous. That can hurt you horrible, okay? But once again, use coffee filters, 2 or 3. The final solution will be basic. What you're going to want to do with this is recrystallization a couple times. Hopefully it'll work. I only have about 35 seconds left. So what I want to say is you're going to rebubble that, recrystallize that with a hydrochloric gas. You can find one on Irrowwood.com. Just Google Irrowwood dry HCl gas generation or anhydrous HCl generation, Irrowwood.com. You should find something that'll work. What you're going to end up with is a crystal